And we are live, I believe. Hey,
Yay.
George.
Hey, Dan, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Great. I'm excited for this show. We get to dive deep into something near and dear to yours heart and mine, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking graphics for your live streams and productions today, which is a topic I'm super interested in. I'm trying to learn as much as I can myself and always looking for new tools and solutions. So, yeah, I'm excited about this topic for sure.
Yeah. And we have a very special guest joining us. We'll cue them up in just a minute here, but you and I have a long history in this space trying to produce video content. I feel like graphics is maybe the hardest part. I mean, when you have
It
good tools,
is.
it's not that hard, but there's a lot of variabilities between trying to position all these things all over your broadcast and make them look great and make it not too challenging to use, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like making it work with your layouts and some of the unpredictability about doing production live can add some wrinkles as well. So there's definitely been an evolution in the tool set over the last couple years, and
You
we've
can
seen a
see
lot of,
you can go to our YouTube channel and see that evolution from our like
yeah.
basically pieces of cardboard held up with signs on them to, just blunt PNG overlays and such to where we are now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is the first time today that we've got the ticker running. So
Yes.
that's kind of fun for this show, and I think it can work for this show to have some news items down there. But there's other ways, things we want to experiment with. So let us know in chat what you think of the ticker, whoever's here. But actually, how we're producing that ticker is one of the tools that our guest is going to show off today. So maybe we should go ahead and introduce our guest. Who do we have today, George?
We have our friend Steven Heimbold from Singular.Live and also more recently from another venture called Uno. So, welcome, Steven. I'm so glad you can spend a little bit of time with us and tell us about what you've been up to because I know you have some very new, exciting stuff to talk about.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's a real pleasure, and it's cool to see. I've watched a few of your streams and seen the early days with the cardboard things you're talking about, and then seeing you actually use Singular even before I was introduced to you. So that's always cool for us to see. But yeah, as you can see, the title on my lower third, which I think that's done in Singular too, which put a big smile on my face. Yeah, I'm from Singular, and Singular is a complete platform. It's really quite deep, and we've had great response from it. But along the way, we decided, based on really on user feedback, it was to try to give an easier offering to get people right into easy to use graphic. I'm going to use the word applications, really their web pages. Um, get them up and running quickly with just a handful of graphics that they can get over their live stream and really, just get a more professional looking stream. So Uno is really the result of feedback from many, many users on our Singular side. And they were really reaching out and saying, hey, we just need to reduce the complexity of the full Singular platform, which makes perfect sense. So we kind of siloed off Uno. It's entirely built with the Singular platform, which is great for myself and my team because we can really we got it up and running pretty quick. It's not it is released in the sense that you can go to the Uno website, you can try any of these overlays, click them, try them, add them as a browser source in your streaming software of choice,
But we'll hold.
and so it's completely
I
functional.
know we're going to go through a nice long demo of Uno and see all the bells and
Yeah.
whistles and what it could do, but a bit of context for our audience here. There are a lot of fully equipped graphics tool or software that have graphics in it. If you use vMix, you probably have some graphics in it. If you use our systems, Epiphan Perl systems, you can do some basic graphics in that. But quite often you want more. Like, for example, we wanted this ticker built in. We wanted to bring in social comments to bring that dynamic stuff in. So that's why I was saying off the top, the graphics part is the hardest part because the complexity suddenly goes from like, I want a word on screen to you want it to be dynamic and you want it to be easy to operate. And so we've become
Yeah.
big fans of Singular because it's crazy powerful. And we have a ton of customers who say we wanted a convenient, easy way to add graphics to our productions that's not going to
Yeah.
be too cumbersome for us to have to learn. So yeah, I'm really excited for us to get a look at Uno today.
Yeah, we'll really focus on Uno. If we get any questions or people want to know a little bit more about Singular, I can talk about that as well. But it just in a sort of nutshell, it's the platform with all of its complexity, with multiple SDKs and an amazing REST API, great documentation where you can build stuff from the ground up. But today we're focusing on this easier point of entry, which is Uno, and we've got quite a few templates in there. We sort of populated them with things that we thought might get some interest, but Uno will only be as good as the feedback we get from users. So we're super excited to get our sign-in portal, which is what we're working on right now. Currently now, as like I said, you can go and use it, try any overlay you want. I think the instancing of those will stick around for, I think, like a month. But coming very, very soon will be the sign-up portal, where if you sign up, simply drop in your email, you'll get the ability to save your Unos to a library, if you will, and manage them and use them in your live stream. So that's coming soon. And I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of in excess of 250 templates, but we are desperately looking for feedback from users, because that feedback loop will help us make new Unos, new different types of graphics with the right amount of flexibility or editability that users really want. So that's the goal of Uno, is to listen to the users.
Well, speaking of user feedback, Steven, I'll start right off the bat, and just my first impression of dabbling with Uno the very first time. I think it might be the quickest and easiest I've ever been able to get graphics into a production with a good result. And I think part of what you're offering that's unique here is kind of the less is more approach in some respect. Is like, with maybe you mentioned something like 100 or so templates so far, but a lot of 90% of what most people need, I think, is captured there. So it was absolutely not intimidating at all to get in there and start playing around. So maybe you could kind of show our viewers how to get started and where to go, and give us a little bit of a demo here.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. I think I'm currently sharing my screen. Let me know if you guys see that. I'm on the overlays.uno. That's our website. And again, for people who are interested in watching this is dynamic. It's changing. We're moving some things around, but it's generally going to stay the same. It's only going to get more cool features. But for right now, you start out here at overlays.uno. Simply hit the try overlays button. And when you do that, you're going to be going into our library. Now you can sort by things. You can look for stuff. For example, categories. If I go down to, I think we have a cool one. Let's see here. Let me try. Stream. There we go. Sorry, let me try here. These stream packs that are up at the top. Actually, I sorted them already by the top. So what these are, the stream pack is actually, you guys motivated me to dive into this, and over the last couple of weeks, I had my team make some of these stream packs. So what's a stream pack? A stream pack is several just graphics. So if we take this one, for example, I click on it, I get a simple preview of the graphics that are in this stream pack. I want to hit try overlay. It is going to fire up another web page, because that's what we're completely cloud based, as you guys know. You're going to get your graphics that are in this specific Uno, and I'll kind of work from the left to right. So you have control over these 4 graphics. So you have a topic bar. You've got a ticker. I'll take the topic bar out. I'll bring in the lower third, and a live bug.
This is that 80-20 rule. Like, you're covering 80% of the use cases. They need, like, our customers who are doing things like, all company town hall meeting, or they're a municipal government trying to do a broadcast. They just need 4, maybe 3 graphics to bring on screen, and you've covered it all with this same UI. So this is brilliant.
Yeah, we're trying, and I took my best shot, having been in the graphics side of this business on sort of professional broadcasting level for many years, as well as an entire team that I'm involved with. We took our best shot at saying, okay, what would make the most sense? So, like I said, in this particular stream pack, it's called Cerium. If you go to the live bug, for example, and I am currently in Evergreen. So all you do is basically just type that, and if you go to any other field, it's going to update immediately evergreen. So there's some slick little things here. If I don't want this like subtitle on this live bug, I just get rid of it. It's hide on empty. There's definitely some logic in here to do some cool things. Same thing would go true for the lower third. So let's say I put in my name. We just put in some generic names in here. So let's go Steven Heimbold. And let's say I don't even want a title. I just get rid of it. It'll just hide on empty. I can animate it in and animate it out.
Very nice.
So it's pretty intuitive. Under customization, again, each Uno, this Uno, it's what we call our Uno Essential. So it kind of, you'll see many of the Unos that you fire up, they're going to look very similar to this. Most of them, a lot of them might only have one graphic, and that was by design. I'm just going to jump just right quickly back over to the library. Some of these are going to just be one single graphic, and we did that by design. We were not trying to overwhelm anyone. I think generally speaking, we might merge some of these into this more stream pack type thing, but that's going to be driven by user feedback. So there's some full screens where it will only have one graphic. Here's just a bug, very, very simple, because some people only need just one simple little graphic. Again, you could get that in this pack, but I just want to make people aware of some of the Unos might have a handful of graphics. And Uno, just take a back step, Uno came out of this idea of just do one thing and do it really well. It was the idea. And in this case, we're trying to do the one thing of making graphics for a sort of typical streaming show easy. So that's what it's attacking, that one thing of making a nice handful of graphics for a live show. So under customization, in this particular Uno, there's some color presets. If I go to like orange or yellow or green, we have other ones where you can get more specific, more granular. You could change the color of the different bits and pieces. But in this one, we said, let's just make it simple and just do, here's a grayscale one. Again, I don't know if
Okay, I've got a no signal on YouTube now.
Beauty.
we're rolling.
We had a little hiccup there, but I think we were just getting into, you were going through our demo and telling us a little bit about the customization aspect of what everybody can do with Uno.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at an Uno has 4 graphics in it. I'll just quickly review. We had the live bug. Go over to control. That's sort of always on the left, where you can fire off any of the 4 graphics in this particular Uno. So there's this topic bar, a ticker. We've got a lower third and a live bug. And then you can go to any of these individual tabs where you do the configuration for, let's say I want to add the state. So now I have Colorado, pretty straightforward. And then the next button over here, customization, these do global, these are global sort of changes. So I can change to a yellow or an orange and blue. And these are changing, evolving. The nice thing about being a cloud platform is we can publish a whole different set of colors and stuff across the Uno, landscape, and those will update automatically. And it won't affect the ones you're currently using, which is kind of cool because it's all instancing and stuff. So in this particular Uno, we just did simple customization, and I had our guys the positioning, say for the lower third. I'm only using one lower third. In this app, you can actually have 2, but I have the right side turned off. So it's pretty straightforward. So if we go back to I'm jumping around, let's go back to customize. I put because I kind of figured once you set this, that's sort of the middle. Let's just set this to 0. That's the center of the screen. You're not really going back to this. So the customization in this particular Uno is color and position. For example, maybe this thing is too high and I've got to move down the lower third a little bit. Oh, it's this one. That's the one. So maybe I want it more down here. And then you just kind of set it and forget it, right? You don't really go back to customization. Now, this last button, UI layout, is super cool. And I'll kind of walk through some of them. There's panel menus. So these panels up here, you can turn that off if you don't want it. This is completely responsive. You can slide back and forth. If you want to get rid of the navigation buttons, those are the arrows going left and right. You can switch from a dark mode to a light mode. You can even say how many panels you want to see at any one time. If you go auto, it's going to show you as many panels as it can based on how you've scaled the UI, because it's completely responsive, adaptive. So or responsive, I should say. Let's go back to the one. I like one panel because you're really focusing in on that sort of click around to the different graphics. Upper right-hand corner. So this is the output URL, which can be popped into any streaming software that supports a browser. So literally just copy this. And if I'm just going to open up another browser tab and paste it, and you're going to get your output, what we refer to as an output URL. So that's going to be transparency built in, and you're going to just pop that over into your streaming software like
we're bringing it in today. We're using our Epiphan Unify, which is our cloud-based production tool. So we use this, but I also know we'll use it. We can bring it in over NDI as well, using your Recast app, right?
Exactly. So most people are using browser-based stuff, but NDI is also quite adopted. We have this tool that you can download for free, which is over on the, I think it's in the Singular site, but it'll be on the Uno site as well. So you can convert to NDI if that's what you need. Okay, so left to right, you got copy URL. Here's the control UI. So if you wanted to open this UI or copy it and dock it in, say, I don't know, anything from OBS to anywhere, or use this on your phone. That's why we put the QR code so you can fire this up. I will show you, there's a help in here, I believe. It just shows you some like pointers, what to do with the app. And then I believe this one. So the token, that's going to lead me into, I guess, the Stream Deck part of this, because we thought it was really important to allow people to program these graphics with Stream Deck. So the only way to do that is Uno's, all of them, whatever flavor. And I'll jump over to a different Uno. It'll look very familiar to this, or similar to this. You need an API. So you can see this button right here. This is the API for this Uno Essentials. So Uno Essentials does the basics, lower thirds, tickers, that kind of thing, or full screens, whatever. Then we have more specific Unos, like Uno Soccer Scoreboard, I think it's called, or Scoreboard, which has a slightly different function set inside it. But every single one of them has an API. Because it has an API, we can do things like controlling Stream Deck. So if you go back to the home page, right here under Stream Deck plugin, you can download our Stream Deck plugin right here. We even have an icon set. And then you can program any of your Unos to a Stream Deck. So we've gotten really good response on this. We're on our second revision of the plugin itself. And maybe that's a good segue to jump into that, if you guys think.
Well,
so
Dan,
what I'm gonna,
just over to Dan, you've tried this, right?
Yeah, it was super easy, honestly, if you're using the default Stream Deck software, you just add Uno, and then you can just literally drag and drop buttons across and then just copy and paste that token that Steven
because sometimes we'll be in a position where you're not only on the show like you are today, you're also trying to run the show, which means you've got a little Stream Deck set up beside you, and you're blindly tactiling graphics onto the
right.
show, right?
Right. Sometimes it's nice to just have a big bold button there that says, titles, and you press it once and your titles animate on. And what it means is that you can do more sort of in a one-man band, single operator. You don't need the full team anymore. You can really set yourself up to be able to operate your entire production using your Stream Deck, which is big if you don't have a large crew, or you only have, one or two people on the back end. It helps to have that convenience.
There's a lot of commonality between what Stream Deck is trying to do and make production easier, less stuff to worry about. What you're trying to do, Steven, with graphics, trying to make graphics easier, and what we're trying to do on the coding side, make it like, don't worry about your streaming. We make all the hardware and cloud stuff to do that. You're doing all the graphic stuff. So collectively, we all have a similar goal, as in like, just make the whole production a little bit more hands-free. Well, not Stream Decks. You need at least one hand for that, but
yeah. Well, soon it'll probably be, you could do voice cues and things like that, is like where we chart the future going, where maybe if I say your name, the title will animate on.
I thought you meant secret words. I have to say the word banana and that word title.
Yeah.
It's funny you guys mentioned that. Well, two things, just to add on to what George was saying. Yeah, and when you use tools like Unify and you're all cloud-based like we are, now it's a real cloud solution, not this hosting an app on some instance in the cloud and calling it cloud. This is real native cloud, just like you guys are with Unify. And I would also say on the voice commands, we actually, a couple of years ago, we used a Alexa, and we programmed, did a simple little integration with them where it's like show lower third, hide lower third, and it's just in and out and in. And that was I did a bunch of demos just preceding COVID actually. And people were like, wow, what are you doing? And honestly, because we have great APIs for controlling these graphics, it was pretty straightforward. The guys banged it out in no time. So hopefully that comes around some more and people are like, I want that,
We built a piece of software that would recognize people and bring their names up based on it had a database as well associated with it, so it used some AI and pulled it up. It's a little creepy at times because you see your name show up on screen in the wrong way, but there was some potential behind it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna show off your guys' stuff a little bit here. I'm gonna stop my sharing, and because right now I'm just sharing my Chrome window, so I think this is pretty cool how fast it responds. So I'm gonna stop the sharing, then I'm gonna open up my share tray, and I'm gonna go my entire screen so that I can do a side by side of the Uno app and the Stream Deck. And I'm pretty sure your guys' stuff responded really quick, right? It's amazing. So kudos to you guys. It's really, really slick.
Yeah, for the people watching, we're using Teams behind the scene to bring all these sources in, and we've developed something called Epiphan Connect, so that ties it all into our broadcast. So when anybody screen shares, it just shows up and hides and goes. It's all normal, like a meeting.
Yep, it doesn't make that screen, that sharing, as you mentioned earlier, George, when we were in sort of the pre-show there, that's so much better. It's so nice. So I'll do my best to do a split screen here. So what you got here is I've got the Chrome browser up with that Uno that I brought up, this one that was called Cerium Stream Pack. And let's just dive right into a Stream Deck. So the one I'll use here is the multi-action switch. So anyone that's familiar with Stream Deck, first you would need to have downloaded our Uno plugin, which is down here, Uno Overlays. It's a simple install like any other plugin. I believe it's in their store as well, I'm pretty sure. So let's just, on the first click, I just take the Uno control and I drop it in here. Now we need to make a connection between this page, web page, this, again, I hate using the word app because it sounds so desktop-ish thing. So, but I will, it's this Uno app, and I'll go over here and I'll grab the token. I go right back over to Stream Deck, right? And let's just paste the token. You need to hit enter. That's a sort of a Stream Deck thing. And then it just says, okay, what do you want to do? Let's just show the live bug. Here's your options. Set the content, show or hide all the overlays. Let's just go ahead and do a show overlay live bug. I'll go ahead and copy this, go to the next click, paste. And on this one, I didn't even name it. It's good practice to name these so you know what you're doing. And we go to hide. So on this one, we'll call it show, just to kind of be good. So now I'll go back up to the top. And this is a blank Stream Deck page. I will physically click my Stream Deck. Actually, the graphics are already in. Let's just go ahead over to the Uno app and take everything out. Now we are sort of from a blank slate. I'll go ahead and click my Stream Deck, and you're going to see our UI responded, right?
Yeah, that was like instantaneous.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's pretty slick. And then I'll do the second click, and it's going to respond to UI and take the graphic out, which is pretty cool. So again, that the sky's kind of the limit there. We could do a little bit more complex one. Let's just take this button. I'm just going to copy. We'll call this one, so let's go back up. Let's call this one live bug, so we know what the heck it is. Live.
The only camera feed we're missing is to be able to see your Stream Deck when you're pressing the button, but we'll trust you on that. But
Stream Deck is super cool, and but yeah, that's one of the sort of like, you have to kind of click on the physical hardware. They don't have software emulation, so that you can't really just see me clicking on the UI. But it is what it is. It's still a really cool tool. So let's go ahead.
We use Stream Deck to do our own layout switching, which means we could also marry our own layout switching with your graphics at the same button. So we could have one button to switch to our 2-up layout and have the titles come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and copy this button, and I'll just put it over here in the corner so we have a little space. And let's rename this one. Let's call this topic. And let's do some edits to it. So on the first click, instead of showing, let's go ahead and back over to the Uno app. This is how I like to set them up. Bring up a topic bar, bring it in. and I got thanks for your support. We'll just leave that one. So I'm going to go, instead of showing it, I want to set the content. So what or the text or content. Let's just go set type, because that's what we're setting here. And we'll go to set the overlay content. And for which graphic do you want to do that? I want to do it to the we're doing topic bar. And if you scroll down to the bottom here, again, some of this, the UI, it's a little bit hidden. Some of that's sort of, we're kind of bound by the software from Stream Deck. So it's kind of hidden. Fetch from the overlay. So if I hit fetch, well, it immediately fetched what was in there. But if I, for example, let's just take this select all, let's just cut it, and I'll just type in my name. And then I'll go back over to the Stream Deck plugin and fetch. It's going to fetch whatever data is in the Uno app. So that's how you sort of populate the graphics. Let's go back over here. I liked my thanks for your support, fetch it. So I'm going to set it. Then I'll just copy paste. And in the next one, let's do a show. All right. So if I go to the show overlays, again, it's already set to topic bar, so I'm done. So it's going to set it, show it, and then on the out, I can just hide it. Which overlay? The topic bar. Okay, so if I go back to the top, pick out the topic bar, and now I'm going to hit I'm physically clicking on the button again. To Dan's point, you don't see me clicking it.
Yeah.
And let's see, is it going to come in? Did I mess it up? Let's see, set. And let's go back over here, topic bar. There we go.
There it is.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for your support. And then as I won't go too deep into Stream Deck, but as you know, you can put delays on here. You can have it automatically go out. I'm using the multi-action, so it's 2 buttons. But if you did a single, what do they call it? They call it a multi-action and just a multi-action switch, which is toggle.
It's right? Like an on-off button, a toggle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I use these all the time for all kinds of things, for demos and for recording stuff and stuff like that. So one thing that's kind of cool, if I were to, let's just come back over to here and I go to add another Uno. Again, I'll show you the process that need the token. This one, I'm just going to set some content. Set topic. And let's go to set the overlay content of the topic bar. And let's change this to hello from Uno. Okay, we come back over to here. Let's go grab that. Okay, take it out. Now watch when I do this. If I take in the topic bar, I'm clicking that button. It's going to animate in. I think unless it was in. Let's see here. There it goes. And now it's in. So if I click this button, I'm going to set the content of the next one. And you see that nice animation that it did?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's taking advantage of a little feature I have that is in this Uno. It's called an update animation. So basically what it's going to do, if I just copy this, paste it, change the text to Steven, come over here. So it's a little back and forth. Now let's go back to the first one. I'm just going to hello from Uno, over to Steven, back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to make, I mean, basically Stream Deck becomes your surface to make your, I'll call it rundowns, or your go-to graphics, you know, the things that you always do. And again, the API supports all of the Unos. There's, you know, hide all the graphics, show all the overlays if you just want to keep it simple.
Mm.
So that's kind of the back and forth between Stream Deck and Uno. It's all based on this token, and the token is what gives you, ultimately what you're doing is you're getting access to the API via the plugin, and bang, bang, bang. So super good response we've gotten on this one. I'm pretty happy with it.
I mean, that's great that you've got the API pre-built for every one of these templates. So from the user perspective, the operator perspective, they don't necessarily have to understand how to code to be able to access these and make them available to someone who's like, you know, maybe more of a novice or just an operator, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. And you can see the documentation is pretty clear here. There's some notes, some little bit more technical stuff if you want. And again, every Uno has an API. If I for a moment here, go ahead and back to the Uno library. Let's go bring this full screen. Let me just show you an example of a different, I think let's do, let me think here. What would be a good one to show you guys? Again, the packs are, when you see these sort of solid colors, those are the packs that we've been banging on. There's a few other packs like this one. with a handful of graphics. This one has like a topic bar, which is pretty slick. You can run down a list of, and it'll highlight which topic you're on. That one's kind of fun. But if I come down here to, that was the one I wanted to show you guys, is I made some clocks just for fun. These are using our widget. Again, some of this stuff, we kind of found ourselves, you can use these for live streams, but you can do things like, if you just want a full screen graphic that you're putting on a monitor, almost like we were talking about this with the dev guys today with our CTO, and he was like, yeah, a lot of this stuff kind of gets into signage, if you just want to have a full screen.
Sure, absolutely.
Actually, the one I want to show you guys is, I'm just going to do a search for weather. This one's pretty slick. So if I take this one, for example, and I try the overlay, I'm really keen, and my team is really keen on API-driven Unos. And what that means is this one, again, the UI looks the same, except the weather bug has some different features that are unique to the weather Uno. So what I mean by that is I can just do a simple search. So let's go to Evergreen, where I am today. Evergreen, it's going to do a search, and it's Evergreen, Alabama. We don't want that. Evergreen, Colorado. I'm sorry. I normally have my.
It's like Springfield, and all of a sudden there's 14 pop-ups.
Here it is. Sorry, and I'm a little two left hands because I'm on my laptop. I don't have my second. I'm on the road, so I don't have my normal setup. So I'm a little. So it comes in. You can change this instead of metric. Maybe you want imperial. And then there's some cool little options in here for, say, like wind, air quality. And if you turn these off, it's just automatically looping between the parameters that you have checked here. And again, under customize, this one actually we exposed a little bit more, so you can move it across the screen if you want. And
I noticed many of these have the hex color code entry, so you could like put your precise brand colors right in there.
Actually, you're absolutely right. And Dan, one thing I didn't show you, which it's not too intuitive yet, and you might see the Unos, like we have a lot of discussions about slightly changing the UIs and trying to make it easier. Our positioning sometimes gets a little odd. You're like, that doesn't make sense. But there's sort of hidden things like R in any of these values is for reset. So it'll put it in the sort of the position that we thought would be a good place to start. But like you said, for the text, like the Munich text up there, you can change it. I don't know, maybe you want to change it to like blue and it's real-time updating. So again, the UI layout, just like the other Uno I was showing you, but again, not as many panels, but they all follow the same architecture in terms of, the output URL, the control, token, API, and your sort of contextual pop-up help to remind you of what these things are. And that'll expand. Some of this stuff we're still evolving.
Again, I feel like you're just scratching the surface on this whole Uno, and that the sky's the limit in terms of complexity or simplicity. We haven't even got into user-generated content, which could be a huge thing for you, where you don't have to go and build all these packs. People are just building them and publishing them for you. So the framework and the API and what you can do in this thing, it really does seem limitless.
It's deep. Yeah. It's deep. I'll show you just one more Uno, which is countdown. Again, this is great if you're doing a stream and you want to do a countdown. So this is going to pop up, and you're going to have, this is already set. Maybe you want to set down to like 4. And all of these functions, all these things that I'm doing here, properties that I'm hitting, are all in this Uno API. So from the Stream Deck, you can say, okay, play this. And it's going to count down from 3. I can reset it back to 3, and I get a countdown message. So if I bring it down to something maybe just like 3 seconds, and I say, I don't know, hello from Steven, a little typo there, but case. And then I go play. 3 seconds later, it's going to display this little hello from Steven message. And the different ones we have there's a bunch of different countdowns. Under customize, there's a background image. So maybe you don't want the background image. All this is a URL. You can just cut it, get rid of it. Now you just have it over black, laid over a different image, or put any image URL in here. Mm-hmm. You can use, I think, background color. Yeah, this is just if you want it over a solid background color. And again, I really tell my team, and we have long meetings about this. I let them be creative and say, hey, what based on what you think, what might be the right feature set. And we dive in and we take our best shot, but we're only as good as that user feedback. And that's what we are so desperately looking to. And we've gotten a lot of really good feedback in sort of beta testing, which has been, phenomenal in terms of what we make here. There's a lot of good suggestions on what, as you see, there's a bunch of full screens, bugs. There's a lot of sports score. This one's another, this one's really slick. I'll just kind of show off this one because another API driven one. We had some interest from some people who are doing crypto. So this is just going to automatically get data from crypto.com. And I can decide up to 5 currencies that I display. So if I change it, you can see when it goes red, it's getting data. And I think under customize, the update in intervals every 3 seconds, it's going and requesting new data. And you've got these color parameters to change the look of this. There's nothing stopping you from taking this content, the content being which you have selected in the cryptocurrencies that you have selected on your stream deck, then change it to the next 10 you want to show, or 5, I should say, and then just updating, and it's just going to roll from one to the next to the next. So,
cool. Yeah.
Kind of cool.
It seems like there's so many things you got going on here. So thanks for showing us like all the different kinds of graphics you can make with it. I know there's going to be a million more.
Yeah.
And it'll all be different in a year from now. There'll be a whole slate of new ones, and hopefully we'll make some and get you to help us with those too. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything. I really appreciate you guys giving me the time to kind of show our wares. And I have a sneaky suspicion this won't be the last time we do. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. The last time we do one of these demos with your guys' amazing cloud offering.
Yeah, we're just getting started too. There's a lot of parallels between what you're doing and what we're trying to do in the cloud. So thanks for coming on the show today. We'll say goodbye for now, and then Dan and you and I should probably talk about some of our news that we've got going on around in the kitchen. Some of our Epiphan news.
Yeah, thanks, Steven. We'll say bye for now. I really appreciate your time. So why don't we head over to the kitchen, and here we are. And by the way, that nice transition graphic is brought to you by Singular.Live. So thank you, Steven, for always helping us get to the kitchen. Okay, where are we here? So let's make sure we got this. First up in the kitchen, we've got some Epiphan Connect news coming up very shortly. And Epiphan Connect, I know some people are in a beta testing it right now. We're using it for this show today. But George, what can we expect later this month as far as Epiphan Connect?
Well, it seems like we have a no signal image here, so I'm guessing we're down. Palmer, is that right? We're good? Okay. Yeah, we're seeing a big, giant no signal image here, which always makes me scared, but I trust our producer here at work. We're going to be here, what's the date? September 27th, have I got the date right, Dan?
I think so. That's right. Yeah, I think so.
For a launch party. We're going to be talking all about Epiphan Connect, which is what we're using today to power this production, to bring in Teams, guests. So Steven was joining via Teams. I'm on Microsoft Teams. Dan's on Teams. All we do is show up, and then the rest happens very, very easy in the cloud using Epiphan Connect and some other tools. So we are going to have a launch party with a bunch of special guests, and we've got some cool prizes and giveaways and things like that. So stay tuned for that. Check out our website this afternoon. Before this call, I was literally talking about a launch page for this thing, so you'll see that go live, and we'll push a bunch of social out around that too. So you probably won't be able to miss it. What else have we got going on, Dan? I'm looking at our little show doc here because I forgot to pull it up before the show.
Well, we've got the new AVIO HD Plus and SDI Plus capture cards are available to purchase now. This is a lot of people are excited about this because it's been a while since we've, reiterated these products, and they have some new functionality as well. So, the most indestructible capture card of all time is available for purchase. So get your hands on it. You can find more information about that right on epiphan.com.
Yeah, and maybe you and I will get out and do some more destructive testing of these like we did a couple of years ago. We lit them on fire and put them underwater and tried to break them, and I think we might have broken one, but it was really, really hard. I remember that.
I still wanna do the steamroller test. That's my. I think it should work. I think it should be possible. So
Yeah.
I'll need to borrow a steamroller, but if we can make that happen, that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay, and is that about it then? Are we good?
I think so. Let's wrap this up. It was great having Steven. So thanks again, Steven, for joining us. Adam, thanks for producing. George, always fun to host with you. And we will see everyone in 2 weeks, which is September 22nd. And I think we're going to have another guest joining us then. So for all things Epiphan, follow us on the socials, and we'll see you next time. So long.
Bye. See you.